Hello, so today I'm doing a presentation on Lovastatin and its effects on cholesterol. So Lovastatin is an important drug that is used to treat in people with high cholesterol in their blood. So this could be people with familial hypercholesterolemia, and this is a method used after patients have already tried exercise and diet and that hasn't worked, in which case Lovastatin proves very helpful in these scenarios. So in order to get a look into how it works, we'll first need to look at how cholesterol is synthesized in the body, in particular in the liver. So to start things off, we begin with 3-HMG-CoA. Now, this converts into mevalonate with the aid of HMG-CoA reductase. And this step in particular is very important as it's the committed step. So being that it's the committed step, as with a lot of the biochemical pathways that we've seen, the committed step tends to be regulated. So in terms of cholesterol regulation, a lot of inhibitors will tend to act on this particular enzyme. So we'll go back to this in a little bit as it has major relevance. Now, as we continue from mevalonate, we go through several intermediates in order to form 3-isopentenyl pyrophosphate as well as dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate. So these are important as they constitute the isoprene units needed to continue forward into the formation of cholesterol. So beginning with dimethyl allyl pyrophosphate, which is a 5-carbon isoprene unit, combining with 3-pentenyl pyrophosphate, we make geranyl pyrophosphate, which is now a 10-carbon unit. With the addition of a 3-isopentyl pyrophosphate, we now get a 15-carbon unit. So now that we have 15 carbons, we link another one of those farnesyl pyrophosphates so that we get a 30-carbon unit called squalene. So as we proceed converting squalene into lanasterol, we then finally end up making cholesterol as an end product. So now I do want to mention some of the functions that are key to cholesterol. So cholesterol is, as we have learned already, important for the phospholipid bilayers as they provide cell fluidity to the membrane. But also it's very important as a precursor to other important compounds within our body, such as steroid hormones synthesis, as well as the synthesis of vitamin D. And it's also important for the synthesis of bile salts that we need to scrub up some of the lipids within our body. Okay, now as we've seen some of the important functions of cholesterol, cholesterol from the liver then needs to be transported to the tissues in order to be useful to the entirety of our body. So the way it does this is via lipoproteins, which act as carriers for cholesterol, particularly esterified cholesterol on the interior core and the unesterified cholesterol on the membrane. So there are different classes of lipoproteins ranging from a low density to a higher density. The lower density lipoproteins, which in particular VLDL and LDL, are important for transporting cholesterol from the liver to the tissues. Now that we brought that up, so LDL and VLDL are detrimental to an extent where if there is an excess of LDL or VLDL in the blood arteries, then we can end up getting hardening of the vessel walls called atherosclerosis via the formation of atherosclerotic plaques. So if this happens, this is what contributes to cardiovascular disease, to heart attacks, possibly even to strokes. So this is the issue that we are now presented with people who have high cholesterol, as excess cholesterol in the liver contributes to increased levels of LDL and VLDL. So one way in order to reduce those levels to prevent the cardiovascular disease is either to uptake the LDL and VLDL via the tissue cells, or the way that lovastatin does it is via the decreased production of cholesterol. So if there's less cholesterol being formed, there's less cholesterol being transported out via these lipoproteins, and thus we are preventing cardiovascular disease and atherosclerosis from happening. So in this case, we're looking then at lovastatin as a way to mediate this problem. So lovastatin, which in its physical form, ingested as a drug, it is in an inactive form, but once in the body, it converts into an active form where it is hydrolyzed here, and then with this active form, it binds to HMG-CoA reductase, and then effectively blocks the formation of mevalonate, which this step in general, being that it is the committed step, it is very crucial in that it prevents the formation of cholesterol in general. So I do like to point out that this is a reversible competitive inhibitor. So it's not gonna, to an extent, it's not gonna cause major damage, in which case we're not gonna have any cholesterol formed to produce the important products that we need, but instead reduce the formation to an extent that we can monitor cholesterol and make sure that we don't have so much excess that we are getting these atherosclerotic plaques.